Hello, this is the Lunch and Learn Fact Check Like a Pro. I just finished it, but I realized I forgot to press record on Zoom and I had gotten a few requests for the recording. So I'm going to go through the same content as I did in the Lunch and Learn and I will send it out via email. This is me. Hi, I'm Emily McIsaac. I'm the Student Engagement and Instructional Librarian here at the college. I operate out of the Prince of Wales campus and I'm very excited to deliver this content to you. The goal of today's session is to provide skills so you're not victim to hoaxes or fake news, and for you to understand the importance of broadening your perspective, as well as understand that these tools can be used at school as well as in your everyday life. During the webinar, I asked if anybody had been taught these skills, the CRAP test or website evaluation, where a teacher stressed the importance of looking at domain names like .org or .edu or .gov, links if there were authoritative links in the website, as well as timeliness, as well as if the author was available. I was letting people know that these skills should be forgotten because they are not relevant and they do not actually help with website evaluation, and I'm going to explain why. These website tricks are useless, so checking the About page, checking authoritative links, checking the website's domain name, as well as analyzing the look of a website. Why are these useless? Because the About page is created by the untrustworthy or partisan individuals who wrote the original article. They're trying to convince you that their company is worthwhile and that you should trust them. However, you need to go beyond the About page to figure out if the company is trustworthy or not. Checking for authoritative source links within an article can be easily added to an article. However, you have to actually click into, say, a New York Times article to actually see if they are agreeing with the claims that the article that you're reading is making. There have been many times where hoax articles or articles of partisan companies have written material with authoritative links. However, when you click on the link, it's from the New York Times, but the information within the New York Times article is not agreeing with the original claims that you have just read. Checking domain names is useless because anybody can buy a domain name. .org can be registered very easily. Nobody's double checking whether the organization is good or not. .com can also be purchased. .co is now more popular than ever. Any domain name can be purchased. .gov is a little bit different and .edu is a little bit different. However, it's less common to see an educational institution use .edu rather than .com. So don't change your opinion of a website based on the domain name because it means nothing. Analyzing the look of a website, such as checking if there's contact information, a copyright date, functional links, and the number of advertisements, all of that is very easy to control even for companies with the lowest budgets. There are websites like Wix or Squarespace that help small businesses create beautiful websites that have all of this information. And when I was doing some looking around, official websites like New York Times, Washington Post, they all have advertisements on their websites. So if you see an ad and you automatically discount the website, that is not a great trick because there are valuable websites that do have ads because that's how people make their money. So instead, ask yourself these questions. Who's behind the information? What's the evidence? What do other sources say? Use these tips and tricks to answer those questions. Read laterally. This means you're getting off the article or website page and you're opening more tabs in your browser to Google the organization or the article or the company to get a better sense of what they're actually about. Like I said, that About page is trying to convince you that the information you're reading is true and accurate and good for use. However, it's only when you get a non-biased opinion about the organization will you get a sense of the information that it's trying to relay to you. Use Wikipedia. When you're looking at an article, always ask, is this a news website? Because as of right now, there are many official news websites as there are fake, satirical, hoax news websites. So if you head to Wikipedia and you're looking at an article from The Onion, for example, Wikipedia will tell you that that is a satirical website with satirical news articles. And then in that wiki article, you can head down to the references page and get more information about The Onion, and you'll get a better idea of what that company is about. Always find the original source. If you're reading an article and it says, according to X source, go click on that link and get a sense if that evidence is coming from that source. And if not, try to Google around to find out who was the first person to write that evidence, and then you can use the Wikipedia trick again to find out if the original reporting source is giving good information. All right. So now you're on social media and you find clickbait articles. So clickbait is meant to entice emotions in you. It's meant to make you feel intrigued or infuriated. So what do you do when you come across that? Fact check. Be sure that you plug that link into Snopes.com, factcheck.org, polyfact.com, or flakcheck.org. All of these websites will help you deduce whether or not the article you found on Facebook is true. And the best thing about Snopes, for example, is that they give you a rating. So it'll say true, false, or more information is needed. So whenever you're reading an article, think about this. Does it align with your current way of thinking? If not, if you're feeling emotionally charged, ask yourself why. Generally, when you're feeling like this, it means your ideas are being challenged. I recommend you embrace that feeling and do more research on the topic. Figure out more points of view to understand if your anger is warranted or not. If it does agree with your current way of thinking, are you ignoring other facts about the subject? And generally, the answer to that question is yes. Because everybody has a bias, every article has a bias, but we need to figure out, like I said, more points of view. Every journalist writing articles have a bias, whether it's unconscious or not, but they are trying to present the best information that they have at the moment, which is always developing or changing. So we need to make sure we're getting all the information before making a decision and try to be empathetic by putting ourselves in other people's shoes and getting all the views that we can before making a decision. Don't fall into confirmation bias. This is defined as the tendency to interpret new evidence as confirmation to one's existing beliefs or theories. Are you getting all the perspectives before taking a definitive stance? I will note that algorithms make it easy for us to fall into confirmation bias because it only shows us information that we agree with. So rather than getting a full picture or maybe an opposing view, we only see things that we agree with. So we need to make sure we're a good digital citizen and do more research to find out all the possible outlooks on a topic and get a better understanding of what's happening. I love this quote so much. If you're doing it right, critical thinking should hurt, by Joseph Laycock. This is why we need to get all perspectives and we need to think about our own morals and understand why one person feels maybe positively about a topic and why someone feels negatively about a topic. We need to keep all three things in mind, and when we do that, it makes our brain hurt. And that's okay. That means you're doing it right. We want to make sure that we're being good people, good citizens, and doing our research to make sure we're not quick to the draw when making a decision about something, because no topic is black or white. I just want to drive home the fact that fake news often excludes key facts, tells one side of a complex story, and is meant to bring up strong emotions. You're meant to feel a certain way when reading fake news, and if there's key facts being excluded, there's a reason for that. So just remember that more research is needed. News outlets, journalists are writing the stories. They do have unintentional bias, but they do make corrections as they're needed and they try to tell the whole story. I don't want to say that news outlets are perfect because they're not. We know that news outlets have errors or bias or don't present information in the best way all the time, but we do need to find information from more reliable sources. And news outlets are generally more reliable than fake news, obviously. So if we can find information that comes from more reliable sources, we're heading in the right direction. However, we need to use our critical thinking skills to make sure that we're getting everything we need before making a decision. Thank you so much.